Well, if we're starting the uniform talk here, we're going to the Three Rivers, we're going to the Rock. Hey, we got to go to Morrison.
They got new uniforms. I think it was last year.
Yep.
They went to an Adidas model. It's incredibly clean. It's just red and white.
Yep.
It looks good. They go red lid, red top, red pant at home.
Yep.
And then I've seen them wear red socks and white socks. And then at home or on away, it's usually red lid, white top, red pant, white sock, which I think is a really good look on the road. Mm-hmm. So if I had to change one thing, I would bring back the blue trim. I think that does add a little bit to their uniform. But the flip side of that is their previous uniform, they tried to do way too much, and they tried to incorporate gray, and they had gray pants, and they introduced white pants those years, and I thought that looked okay. So, they tried something new. I didn't think it worked. They went back to this clean look, just red and white. It looks great. If I had to change one thing, I would bring back just a little bit of blue. Not much, just a little bit of blue in the trim.
Yeah, they used to, in the state championship years, they had blue trim on the pants, which was pretty thick. It was like a thick stripe that narrowed down, but I thought it was a nice touch. But I went back and actually looked. I used to love their uniforms when they won the state championships, but looking at them now, I think they kind of look a little dated. I don't know that they would really work perfectly now, but yeah, I like the look they have. Like you said, it's clean. It looks good. It works with the helmet. I think it all works together. So I don't know how else I add anything to that. You got it covered.
More than you asked for. I promised it, and I hopefully delivered.
Okay, who else in the Rock? Who do you like? What do you see in the Rock uniform wise?
Let's stay with what we've kind of been talking about and go to Newman. Another team that we kind of talked about with Western Big Six. Your traditional power, who has not deviated away from what their look is. I texted you earlier today, you could look at their titles from 91 or 93, whatever year it was. You could go back that far, and their look would still be the same. I think their biggest change recently is they went to a Nike template, which is a nice, clean look. I think if they had these in the past, I don't remember them. They do have a blue pant. So there are times where they're completely blue at home,
which looks cool.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that.
Oh man! All right.
I don't think. No. Let me rephrase. I don't think it looks bad.
Yeah.
I think the classic Newman look is the blue lid, the blue jersey, the gray pant, the white sock, which follows none of my rules, not a single one. But that's such a good hard-nosed football look. So the all blue is a great look. It's a nice touch without doing too much. But they still keep their traditional look alive.
Well, a bit of breaking news. Brandon Kretzmer said there are new jerseys this year.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if we're really breaking that big of ground here, because I'm guessing similar to how Newman's not going to go 5 wide this spring. They're probably not going to come out with something super crazy flashy and different. Yeah. So I'm guessing that we're safe to assume it's going to follow the similar look. To follow up on what you said, I like Newman stuck with the same helmet for years, and it's a really solid logo. It's easily identifiable.
Yep.
It speaks to the school. And, when we were texting back and forth earlier, I simply texted Geneseo, Alleman, Newman. It's just those three. You just can count on what it's going to look like year in and year out. Now we kind of flip to teams that they've kind of switched it up a little bit. Looking at someone like Bureau Valley, I've saw their stuff, and I'll be honest, I loved the jerseys they wore when they won the state championship.
Yeah.
All navy with the San Diego Chargers lightning bolt that was kind of rounded, and they used the Superman stickers in the Garrett Barnes era when they were winning state titles. You probably remember it well because you were playing against them. But I loved that look. I will say that when I first saw the lighter blue, I thought, oh, man, I don't know. But it's grown on me. And now I'm to the point where, okay, it's the high school version of the Color Rush jersey the NFL does.
Yeah.
That's what they do at home. And I like it. And I think that I actually now they do the Air Force lightning bolt, which is more straight ahead and downward. And I think it looks great. The numbers, the font and the numbers kind of match their style. I love their look. I like their look a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to echo everything that you just said. I was I was always a fan of what they did back in those years. Unfortunately, I was usually seeing the back of them with the amount of speed that team had and how good, Garrett Barnes was. When they went all Navy,
yep,
they just looked fast. They looked strong, and that's what they were. That's why they won a title then. So,
yep. But there was nothing flashy about those uniforms. There was no trim on them. There was very little.
Yeah, you had mentioned that they had the lightning bolt on the helmet. They also had it on their shoulders.
Oh, that's right.
So,
yes.
So it said Storm across the front.
Yep.
And then they had shoulder stripes of the same lightning bolt style. So
correct.
Yeah, that was a great look. And then same thing you said when I saw their new ones, the light blue ones. It's kind of going back and forth on them. I think they look great. Maybe when you see those colors, I kind of think of like North Carolina. So maybe what if they introduced a white helmet? What if they, had white pants? I would say to
they do
continue
they do white on white on the road.
On the road, okay. And
yes.
So if they've got, the only thing I wouldn't want them to do is have a navy pant, because that would break one of my other rules of having the lighter color jersey than the pant. I don't think that would look good either way, especially in that color scheme.
Okay.
But yeah, if they wore the white pants at home, that'd be a pretty cool look. But even when they wear the light blue on the light blue, it's a clean look for sure.
Yep. What are your thoughts on? Okay, so for years, traditionally, Fulton had Steamer's script written on the helmet.
Yes. Yep.
Which was a classic look. That's kind of what I was used to. But in recent years, they've gone to the actual Steamer logo. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about it. One of the things I love is when a team can incorporate an original logo that is not a ripoff of college or NFL. It's theirs, and they use it on a helmet. I think it looks great.
I like that. I found a picture online of just someone who took a picture of just a close-up of the helmet, and it looks really nice. Because when I played, it was the Steamer script, and even that looked okay.
Yep.
But even on a more, full-on look at Fulton, even with that helmet change, they've kept their traditional look. Went to an Under Armour set, which looks really nice. I've always, whenever I think of Fulton, I think of red lid, black jersey, red pant, black socks.
Yep.
They kind of, I think they have black pants. I think they sometimes they'll go away from that. But again, another team that you could say always has looked like Fulton, even if they've made some changes to it.
Do you think it's funny? I just thought about this as you were describing it. When you look at Fulton's uniform, the way, I don't know if it's because they have like a vertical stripe down the side. It looks like a power uniform.
Yeah.
Whereas, and that fits their team. And then you look at like Morrison last year, their team looked like a speed uniform.
Right.
I think there's something to be said about that. They fit the description of the way their jersey looked.
Yeah. Yeah. Back in the day, Fulton had, it said Steamers a little bit bigger across the place. And it had, at least their jerseys at home had like white, I think it was 2 stripes on the shoulders. And again, it just looked like a team that was going to give the ball to a fullback and run you over if they could. So.
Absolutely. Very, very fullback friendly uniforms in Fulton, I would say.
Yeah, right. Always a plus.
So you referenced Riverdale with the helmet. The Ram looks great. I think that's a recent change in the last 3-4 years. They went away from the block kind of R that was like italics, but I really like the Ram look. Oregon, they've adopted the Oregon O essentially, but I love that they've made it like that metallic, like silver O. I think it looks really sharp. When they do all black, it looks great, and it's an Under Armour jersey, and it's really well done. Their road jersey, they do gray pants.
Yep.
They do the white jersey with gray numbers, and the red outline looks so sharp because the gray matches the metallic helmet. Like it looks great.
Yeah, and not only that, they all wear black socks, and it looks like, at least on the pictures that I saw, a lot of players will wear like red ankle tape, and like the whole look.
Yeah.
I don't want to do what I did last week with the Western Big Six. I don't want to like give away my picks. Oregon is definitely there, because Oregon is any set that they have, like you said, they have 3 jerseys, they have at least 2 pairs of pants, they mix it up.
Yep.
It's such a clean like preset, like where it has, if it says Oregon over, it says Chargers in the front, and then it's got 2 stripes, 3 stripes going across. Like, they can't do wrong. Sorry, they can't do any wrong.
Man, Chip Filler cannot do any wrong in Mitch Stormer's book with that uniform. I love it. I love it.
Great job. Go Chargers.
Okay, let's see. Last team that we haven't touched on yet, Rock Ridge. they've kind of flipped things around a little bit. Their helmet's unique. Their helmet's different than almost anything you see in the area, where they do it's almost a newer design helmet, where there's like, I don't even know what you call that, like the thicker, like protective, like shell in the middle. And that's all white. The rest is maroon with the numbers on the sides. I'm normally not a numbers on a helmet guy, but it's going to break my rules like twice today because I got one more later. But I think it looks okay. The helmet is unique. It looks okay. I wish they'd go back to, they had a rocket logo with the R. Yep. And they had a white helmet with that on it, with the maroon face mask. That looked really sharp when they did it that way. And they've kind of gone away from that a little bit. But,
I'm glad that you used unique, because certainly the whole set is, because they have bigger, white stripes going down their arm on their home uniforms, or maroon on the road. Again, I don't want to speak bad about any program, because I think, like you said, they are doing unique, but I do think that they might be up for an upgrade. And I think that would also be a good decision to go back to that. I know exactly what logo you're talking about with the R and the rocket, and either put that on a white helmet, put that on a maroon helmet, update the jersey and the pants a little bit. I'm not a fan of jerseys that have the nicknames running up the legs. Again, I'm sorry, Rock Ridge. I don't mean to be a downer. It's just not for me. So yeah, I would say that you could do some different things with Rock Ridge, because I really like that color scheme. I really do. But yeah, like you said, nonetheless, it's a unique look.
I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, and I'm sure he'll text me if I am, but I think Jeremy Adolphson came up with that R logo when he was the head coach there. I'm pretty sure that was like his doing. And maybe somebody can correct me if I was wrong, but I think I've heard that before. And that's a segue. Speaking of Jeremy Adolphson, he's coaching Monmouth Roseville in the Mississippi side now.
Yep.
Get a look at their uniform and a new helmet this year. They're going with a white helmet. It will have the similar number on the side and a logo on the other side, but the number looks really cool because it looks like, similar to what I talked about with Orion, it's got that like metallic outline on it. It looks sharp. It's going to look really good under lights, or I guess this spring during some, afternoons, but.
Right. I want to see that look when they're at home, but just looking off of their, and first and foremost, they have an Adidas set, looks nice, looks clean. They got great colors. That white helmet will look really good when they got their white jerseys on. So yeah, a nice upgrade on the lids for Monmouth Roseville, and it's going to work. They're not going to have to change anything else, because that's a good set.
Yeah, I think what Monmouth Roseville's done well is that a lot of teams have tried to do gray over the last 4 or 5 years. Not everybody can pull it off, but Monmouth Roseville has the advantage of that's kind of naturally a school color. So they've been able to utilize it. And at home, they don't use blue. Their main color is gray all the way down. And with a white helmet and the kind of a gray or darker face mask, I think it'll look really good. I like the look that they got going there. Another team I want to talk about, and this one, Princeton's a cool look because they really incorporate stripes. They incorporate tiger stripes. They have the Bengal style helmet with the stripes going down the side. Coach Ryan Pearson, I believe, came up with the hashtag Fear the Stripes. So it's a whole kind of mentality. It's all branded the same way. I think that's really cool. Like, the jersey itself would stand out, but with that added element, I think it's really nice.
Yeah, I think his first season, they still had their older helmet. I want to say that was probably 2017, and I could be completely wrong with this.
I think that sounds right.
I think they introduced it in 2018. So yeah, like you said, it's the Bengal helmet. It's similar to what the University of Memphis does on their football field.
Good call.
I think that here's my thing on Princeton. I think the stripes need to be incorporated on every level. I think their jerseys are just a little busy with it, just slightly. Certainly not the helmet. The helmet is perfect.
Okay.
But I will say on the road, when they have all white, that is an awesome look. That's a super good look.
Yep.
It's just something about the blues. I don't know if it's just the piping that goes along with the stripes or just how it kind of, looks the rest of the way, but it's just a little busy for me, but that's not a bad thing.
All right. Who else you got? What do you see in the Three Rivers, Mississippi?
Do you want me to hit you with my surprise pick?
All right. So we were texting back.
Or should we wait until the end? I'll try and mask it as best I can.
All right. Sounds good. All right,
I'm going to pick a different school then.
All right.
A school that we were talking about earlier from from when I was playing is Prue St. Bede.
Yes.
Nice look, great look. Nike jerseys. I love forest green on a football team. I think they can go green and or white helmet, green jersey, green pant at home. I think they also have white pants. It's a really, really nice look. They don't try and do too much with it. I like the B logo. I think it's somewhat similar to what UCLA uses. I think
I do too. Yep.
And I was telling you earlier today, back at this point 15 years ago, the Prue St. Bede helmet used to be what the Tennessee Titans helmet used to be. It was whatever that is, because that looks like a comet to me. I don't know. But it was that logo, like the ball and the streak, and it said SB in it. So again, I don't know what that has to do with the Titans or what it has to do with Bruins. It didn't look bad. But maybe
you threw me way off with that because I totally forgot about. Sorry to cut you off. I totally forgot about that look until you sent me that picture, and I was like, "Oh yeah, they did that."
Yeah. So incorporating the being, it's like a paw print, or at least it's like claws. So going on the Bruin nickname. So yeah, it's a very nice looking brew.
Spring Valley Hall. That's another team that we've talked a lot about, teams that have changed or that kind of tweak it year in and year out. Spring Valley Hall hasn't changed a whole lot. I remember them growing up and looking almost the same as they do now. Like Hall across the front, and it's a short name, so it's pretty easy to put big block letters Hall across there. The Devils logo is unique. Like it's the script with the, pitchfork coming down. It's a good look, and it's solid. It's solid striping. It's an old school football uniform that, I can't argue with it very much because there's not much to it and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's a very classic look.
Yeah, I remember way back in the day, I was in Bureau Valley, as a matter of fact, during those 05 teams, and I think they were playing Hall in a playoff game, and it's the same uniform that they have now, or at least the same style. Another team that has two colors, they don't try and go away from it. It's a clean look. So yeah, I really like Hall's away uniforms. It's something about just the white jersey with the red Hall across the front. That whole away look really is really good.
All right, flipping on the complete opposite side of the script, similar colors, Erie Prophetstown, much different look than Hall, but man, that black jersey they got, that is slick.
Yeah, and for the listeners, this will be a new look. It's a new Nike template for them. I think that the whole look really looks great. I really like EP's helmet. I've always liked that EP and the Panther logo. So another team that does a good job of having, maybe a common nickname, but an uncommon logo, so to speak, or at least branding themselves to have a good logo.
Interesting side note, a few years ago when they made a couple playoff runs and they had a really good run in the Three Rivers, for a few years, they tweaked their logo to their color scheme almost went all black and white. Which I thought it looked really slick. It kind of went away from their school colors, which isn't always the best choice, I don't think, but it worked really well. And the EP was I don't know how to describe the font, but it was almost like what the Northwestern N, their traditional font is. It was like that, only it said EP, and it looked cool. That had a good look to it, but the traditional Erie Prophetstown that incorporates the red and it's got the Panther head in it, I think it works really well with that uniform in particular.
Yeah, and when you're going to see this look on the field, and kind of like you had said, there's not a whole lot of parity in this conference. If you look at EP's uniform, Fulton's uniform, Orion's uniform, they all got red, white, and black, but they all kind of do it in separate ways. And so it's good that EP probably didn't take that into consideration. I don't know how aesthetically concerned that they are, but it's a different template than any other team. It's kind of more italicized, I think, at least in the numbers. They do a cool thing where the number it's just an outline. It's not really filled in. So if we're able to show the pictures of that, it's easier to see it than for me to explain it. But yeah, it's a nice, the whites too, the away jerseys look really nice. They pop off the eye.
Yeah. I'm sure that coaches are not nearly as interested or concerned with the aesthetic look as we are. I don't think so.
But we don't know. Maybe
we don't know. That's true. We don't know for sure.
No one's talked about this on a podcast before. We don't know.
I guess I should. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess I shouldn't judge too quickly. Another one I liked. Kiwani's got a really good look, and it's a clean look, but it's sharp looking.
And probably one of the more interesting helmets in the
Yes.
in the Three Rivers Conference. Let me be correct on this.
Yes.
If I'm correct, and you can tell me that I'm wrong, it's an all black helmet, but the K is on the back.
Yes, correct. The K is on the back. I don't know. I don't know what I think about that. It's different, and and it's a big block one. I think when I think Kiwani, I think of the Boilermaker. I think of the orange Boilermaker, and I want to see that guy somewhere, but they don't incorporate it. And that's okay. You don't have to.
I don't know that he's an intimidating football mascot per se. Just the way that he's drawn up.
Yeah.
But the jersey itself, it's an Adidas set. And like you said, it's just super clean. 3 colors. I'm not trying to do too much. Black at home, with orange and white trim. So yeah, a great look in Kiwani.
And they're adding orange pants. I was told by I assume the head coach, or someone on their Twitter account. And actually, I need someone on the Kiwani Twitter account or somebody to reach out to us, because a few years ago, I think for only 1 year, they had a helmet where, like the Rock Ridge bumper, like we talked about, Kiwani's helmet, they put like the Boilermaker inside of that part, and that was it. And the rest of the helmet was black. I gotta find a photo of it somewhere.
I do not remember
crazy.
that. I would love to see that. I don't remember that at all.
It was a 1-year deal. So getting back to the Boilermaker head, what if Kiwani did something crazy like PJ Fleck in Minnesota does, like the big gopher head, and they put a big Boilermaker head on the side of a helmet?
Well, yeah, and I don't know if, and speaking of Boilermakers, if Purdue does that with their mascot, there's probably some iteration that they do.
Maybe. They've always been the P. They've always been that, that.
Right. Yeah, so. But they might have a logo that they might not use. But something like that where it's just like this over-exaggerated, oversized, just Boilermaker head just on the side of your helmet. Yeah, maybe. Why not?
Sherrard, they're a pretty basic look. They've shuffled around a few years. They used to use kind of the Missouri Tiger type of logo, I think. And they have a new Tiger logo that I think is like on basketball court, other logos you see. They have not incorporated that into this jersey. This is almost very similar to like the Hall look. It's very, kind of old school power football type look. Big, thick stripes down the shoulder pads and on the pants. Numbers on the helmet, no logos.
It mirrors LSU. And so another team that just kind of embodies a tough team. Oddly, they're kind of also incorporating like an Alabama-esque helmet in terms of just the numbers. So
that's interesting.
I like the jersey with that classic look. I would replace the numbers with an S, or like you said, a Tiger logo. Maybe just something to spruce up the helmet. But I think that's also a clean look in Sherrard.
All right, Mitch, the talk is done. It is UniView power ranking time. Now, like I said at the start, the way this works, we each give our top 4 from this conference, and those teams will kind of be saved and locked away. And then in a couple weeks, me and you got to come up with a definitive top 10 for all these conferences. So, Mitch, where we going? Who's your number 4?
Again, like we had talked about, such a strong conference. And so I'm pretty good about my top 3.
Okay.
But the 4 spot could have went to probably any of 3 teams. So anyone who is listening, you're doing great. I like your uniform, but it's a tough decision at 4. This is my biased pick of the 4. It's the Morrison Mustangs. If nothing else, it's just the helmet that pushes them over the top, probably over a Newman, just so I can get one more shot at Newman because I don't get to anymore. But again, reverting back just to the red and white, like you said, it's kind of like a speedy type of look on the Adidas jersey. The helmet remains the same. Morrison's number 4.
My number 4, I'm going to the other side of the conference. I'm going Princeton. I'm going Princeton Tigers. I just like we talked about when we were discussing them. I like the way they incorporate the fear the stripe kind of mantra, and they put the stripes on the helmet, on the jersey, on the uniform, or on the pants. I think it's a solid look all the way around. I'm going with the stripes on that one in number 4.
Okay.
Mitch, where's your number 3?
I'm picking up right where you just left off. My number 3 is Princeton.
Okay.
Again, one thing that we didn't mention that Princeton does is they incorporate the stripes in the end zone on their field, which I'm trying to think. I haven't seen every field, so I don't want to say that no other team does that, but maybe one that embraces it better than anybody else is Princeton, because that looks so cool on a Saturday afternoon with the sun beating down on it.
Good call.
Just as a
Great
side
call.
note, but again, as I said when we were talking about it, it's a little busy with the stripes, not in a bad way. I would just like to see it kind of dialed back. But the all white, that is a terrific look for a terrific team. Number 3, Princeton.
All right. My number 3, Monmouth Roseville. And now, I got to be honest, Monmouth Roseville breaks my rule. I do not like logo on one side, number on the other. But I like their jersey. I like incorporating the gray. I think it's a unique thing that they're able to do because their color is gray. And man, when that white helmet pushed me over the top. When I saw that white helmet with the metallic number on it, that pushed me over the top. I think it's a really cool look. I like what Jeremy Adolphson's doing out there. So I'm going with Monmouth Roseville as my number 3.
Okay.
All right. Number 2.
Number 2. This is one that I've teased to you.
Yes.
That I like. I like it a lot. Spring Valley Hall. The Red Devils is my number 2 in the Three Rivers. I love this look. I cannot explain how much I love this look.
Okay.
It's just, it kind of follows the Morrison thing where it's two colors. They don't try and do too much. Maybe they just got them, like New Jerseys last year, because the pictures that I saw, like the red was crisp, the white pants were crisp. Either that or they do a real nice job of cleaning because they look so good. I love the Devils on the red helmet. Yep. And like I said earlier, the away look is my favorite. So a good job by Hall. My surprise pick, my number 2, might make a run later on. I don't know. Good job for the Devils, number 2.
All right. My number 2 is going on the opposite end of the spectrum here. And this one surprised me too, because I didn't see it coming. I'm putting Bureau Valley at number 2. When Coach Pistol sent me the picture with that blue look of all those guys lined up on the sideline, man, it just looks – I love the idea of like that color rush look like I talked about.
Yeah.
Incorporating into high school. It just looks cool. And, being called the Storm and having that lightning bolt that kind of adds that energy to it. It's just – I think the color is perfect. And I never thought it would be better than the navy blue look. But I do. I really like it. So well done, Bureau Valley. I'm going number 2.
Yeah, and especially, hopefully in the spring if they're playing. I don't know if they're playing at any certain times of the day, but that look on that field where it's just wide open out there on Route 40, that'll look nice. That'll be a nice clean look on a spring blue sky.
That's right. Correct. This is it. It is go time. It is your number 1 uniform in the Three Rivers, the track 8, as you would call it, Mitch.
Yeah,
sorry.
Right. The track 8, the Big Rivers, whatever it is. Number 1, I teased it earlier. It's Orion. It's the Chargers. They do not do any wrong. They've got multiple sets. I'm hoping that they embrace it there because they're doing a really good job, and I don't think that's a coincidence. So, yeah, they're number 1, probably over any Western Big 6 team too. It's such a good look.
Man, that is big time praise coming from you.
It's gonna be hard to beat. I'll say it. It's gonna be hard to beat that.
I'm gonna, no suspense here. I'm with you. I'm Orion. Orion's the best jersey. They look great. I've loved it. I really like their road look, the way that they incorporate the white with the gray pants and just the O plays into it. Like you've always said, the helmet doesn't match the pants, but the way it all ties together, it looks awesome. It's such a good look.
It breaks those rules, but there are always exceptions. And when you do it right like they do, every time. Love it.
Credit, big shout out to Chip Filler. If he was the man behind ordering those uniforms, job well done. Done. Keep it up because it looks good.
Don't change a thing. Keep it up.
And I should have mentioned earlier, and we were talking about them, I saw a Facebook picture that Chip sent out several years ago when he was toying with the idea of the same Oregon O, but on a white helmet. Mm-hmm. And, man, it looked cool. But they never did it.
What color was the O? Was it red?
I think it was like a red outline with the metallic middle. It looked really cool. They never went that way, but I wonder if, maybe we could talk some people into raising some money, buy some extra helmets. That's pretty expensive probably,
let's sell some pies, let's wash some cars, let's do something out there.
Right.
Let's get one. Let's do it.
All right, so there we go. There's the rundown of our top 4 uniforms in the Three Rivers Athletic Conference. Mitch, they will all stay in a separate little pool, in a separate tank. We'll revisit them when we have to do, me and you are going to be tasked with the definitive top 10, and we can't make our own. I think me and you got to fight it out, and we got to battle out with, Bureau Valley and Hall and Orion and Rock Island and all of them.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we're going to come up with a definitive top 10.